Alright, hello everyone, Salt here. Welcome to the video. Today we are going to be going over Inaros Prime. And now I've actually gone over him in the past, but he's been reworked recently. And so I'm just going to be doing kind of a quicker video today just to show his rework off and some of the other ways I've kind of built him out as well. So just something about me is I normally play Steel Path Endurance for like an hour to maybe 4 hours tops for survival, and maybe like an hour or two tops for disruption. Disruption, of course, is not time based, but I usually am only in there for an hour or two before I get bored. Same thing with survival, honestly. Sometimes I go to 4 though. So most of my builds are built out for that 1 to 4 hour survival, 1 to 2-ish hour disruption range. So okay, let us get into Inaros here. Okay, so his abilities, just to go over them real quick. Desiccation is going to throw sand at enemies, going to blind them, give you like a little bit of a CC. Really good ability. His two, the way we're building Inaros is kind of a little bit like weird. So we're actually going to be building him as a shield frame. You actually can give Inaros shields. He just doesn't start with any, so you actually have to get them through mods. And so that's what we're going to be doing. And so I said that because we're actually subsuming out his tornado, and it's because his tornado replaces your health, and we don't really care about that. He's going to be shield Inaros. And so instead, we're going to be using Warcry. Warcry is going to increase the fire rate of your ranged weapons, going to make your sentinels shoot quicker. It's a really good ability. Next one here, Scarab Shell. Scarab Shell is kind of like the old 4 that Inaros had, except now you can move with it. And it also kind of has negation swarm built in, like status immunity, which is kind of nice. And we're going to keep that on, of course, because armor is going to give us that damage reduction to our shields. Then Scarab Swarm is like completely new. This, he summons cats, and the cats go around and they spread like corrosion and stuff. And so that's a really cool ability now. Okay, now to go over the mods. You can kind of see the theme here. Very, very shield heavy. So Augur Accord for plus 70% shield capacity. We also have that bottom effect where 40% of our energy spent on abilities is converted to shields. It says 80 because I have another Augur mod somewhere. I don't think it's on him. I think it's on another thing. Retribution, 60% chance to deal electrical damage when your shield gets struck by melee enemies. We're going to be having shield all the time, so that's no problem. It's easy. It's some CC. Vigilante Vigor, shield recharge, shield, and more shield recharge delay. Sorry, I can't get my words out this morning. Boreal's Hatred for 65% shield capacity and plus 15% ability efficiency. Reduced damage when airborne. That's not really going to be taken into effect, so that doesn't really make sense. The bottom part, at least. Fortitude here, we're going to be using for another plus 100% shield recharge. So our shield is going to come back really, really quickly. You get knockdown resist too, which is nice, but not super needed. Prime Redirection, they added the Prime version of Redirection in like a few months ago, which was nice. So we have 180% shield capacity there. It's huge. Prime Vigor is going to give us plus 75% shield capacity. It gives us a little bit of health too, but that's not what we're going with for this build. Fast Deflection is going to be more shield recharge and shield recharge delay there. Now, the mods on top, the Aura mod is going to be Brief Respite on an ability cast. Your squad converts 150% of energy spent to shields, so you get a little bit more shields when you use an ability. It's nice. And then finally, the Exilis, we're going to be using Peculiar Growth. This is kind of a rare mod. Can't get it all the time. It comes like here and there at like random times and events. But it's kind of underrated. So it's an Exilis mod. It's the Exilis slot. There's not very many good things in the Exilis slot. There's like, 15% range, 15% strength, little tiny stuff like that. But damaging an enemy will inflate the body part hit for 6 seconds. So as we're shooting heads, that head is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And those headshots are becoming easier to get. And so that's why we're using Peculiar Growth, is because it's actually going to be a DPS increase for this build. All right, so that is the Inaros there. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go over some like combo wombo potential. And so we're actually going to be using him with the Prisma Grinlock. And I actually made a video on the Prisma Grinlock. The only difference is I sometimes switch out aptitude for serration depending on like if I'm doing a quick match or if I'm staying in there for a little bit. But the big thing with the Prisma Grinlock is the specific syndicate mod that it can use, Deadly Sequence. So if we read this, as the Grinlock is getting kills and you're getting affinity with the Grinlock, it triggers a radiation explosion. That's nice, but it doesn't really do a lot of damage. But it does do the radiation effect, which is cool. But it restores 25% of your shields, and it increases your max shield capacity by plus 50% for 30 seconds. It's a 30-second buff that the Grinlock gives you. So that's pretty crazy. So that's going to give us a crazy amount of shields. So that's why we're going to be using the Prisma Grinlock. Combo's really nice with this Shield Inaros build. For the secondary, I had a few different options. I decided to go with the Compressor. It's like a heavy crit weapon. So, you know, you don't really want to be going status on this. You want to be going crit. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going for Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, Creeping Bullseye for crit chance, Prime Target Cracker for crit damage. And of course, like faction mods, they're the best. They double dip, triple dip sometimes even. And so we're going to be going for Expel the Murmur, Primed Expel Corpus, Primed Expel Corrupted, Primed Expel Grenier, and Primed Expel Infested. One day, I hope they will come out with a prime version of this, because this build will just get that much better. We can't fit an Exilus, unfortunately. We can have like an, you know, you probably could if you formed this slot. I'm just a little bit low on Former right now, so I can't Former that slot. But then in the Arcane, we're going to be using Secondary Cucumber. Secondary Cucumber is going to be amazing. You put it on every single secondary in the game. So, okay, and then in the melee slot, going to be using the Ripkas. So don't worry too much about this build here. I made this build like, 2 years ago, so it's probably outdated. But the important thing about the Ripkas is that they're able to use an Amalgam mod, and the Amalgam mod is Amalgam Ripkas True Steel. And, it gives you a little bit of crit chance. It's kind of like the other crit chance mod you get here. But because it's the Amalgam, you get plus 20% reload on shotguns. So that's going to help our Grinlock out a lot there. Not a lot, but a little bit. Hey, plus 20% is nice. So that's why we're using the Ripkas. Going to get a little bit more reload speed in the Grinlock. We're going to be going for an Unairu Focus School. It's going to passively just give us 200 armor, which is going to help with the damage reduction to our shields. Now let's get into the pet we're going to be using. Of course, hey, we're building him for shields, so we got to go with Taxon. Okay, let's get into that Taxon build. All right, so Taxon has really poor armor. Really poor armor. So for the survivability mods that we usually use, we're not going to be going for the enhanced, the metal fiber here, because the 250% is not really going to increase 80 up that much. So instead, we're just going to go with enhanced vitality and calculated redirection, just because they give him a decent amount of stuff there. Now, Taxon gets to use a special Taxon-specific mod called Molecular Conversion. So he blasts an enemy within 10 meters, and he converts 200 damage into shields for the Warframe. It's pretty nice. Gives you a little bit of shields back. Well, we're going to combo wombo this with Manifold Bond. Companion Precept mods apply status effects from companion weapons. So now this is going to apply all of the status effects of his little Sentinel weapon, his little Sentinel gun that we'll get to after this. And killing enemies with 3 or more unique status effects reduces the companion ability cooldown by 3 seconds. So he's going to be able to machine gun spam molecular conversion and just dump shields on us. So that's what we're looking for. Of course, with Sentinels, I always use these 3. It's going to be Primed Animal Instincts for loot radar, enemy radar, Vacuum to pick up loot, and Prime Regen to reduce his downtime. Because for endurance, eventually your pets are going to go down, even if you build them for like super survivability. You need to have assault mode on him for him to actually attack and be putting molecular conversion on enemies. We're going to be going for Guardian. So when our shields go to 0, it's going to just boost us up to 100%. No brainer there. And then Shield Charger. Shield Charger is going to increase our max shields and shield regeneration by 60% for 10 seconds. This is on like an internal cooldown. He will kind of be able to keep this like at 100% uptime because of Manifold. So it's pretty decent. Pretty decent. So Taxon's going to be our little friend there, helping us. For his weapon, we're going to be using Burst Laser Prime. I think I've done a video, maybe not exactly a Burst Laser Prime video, but I've done a video where I've showed this off before. So all the elements are just, these are going to be applied on his precept. So it's going to be Toxin and Heat to make gas, Electricity and Frostbite to make magnetic, and Accelerated Isotope to make radiation. That's pretty much why we use Burst Laser Prime. So that's going to give 6 statuses. Every time he goes to do his little, whatever that thing was called, what was it? Molecular conversion. So that is the Inaros build. Of course, you're going to be going for armor shards for more damage reduction to your shields. So you have a lot of shields. As you saw on the build, we have a shitload of shield mods. Now we need damage reduction for those shields. And that, of course, is going to be done through armor. So you want 5 armor shards. And I think that's pretty much it for the build. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do like a 5, maybe 10-minute Steel Path Kuva survival. Show it off killing some trash, acolytes. Show how the build, like the general gist of how the build works. For people that don't know or haven't played the rework, it's changed Inaros a little bit, but he's really good now. So, okay. Into a Tabby Uni. And you'll see the shields when we get in there. They'll be in the top right, of course.
Scans show Grin are harvesting Kuva nearby.
So I'm going to throw an energy pad down just so I can get some energy. And if you look in the top right, we have 4,676 shields. A little bit weird to see Inaros having shields, but he can have shields. Also, there's like a weird thing. I think it's because of the link redirection that I have, where Taxon gets like a ridiculous amount. If you look, our Taxon has over 8 million shields. 8,751,960 shields. That's crazy. So Taxon's pretty much never going to die. And our Inaros, 4,676 shields. It seems a little bit less than like our health Inaros, of course. That's at like 10,000 health. But keep in mind all those shield recharging mods and stuff that we have. So it's going to recharge very, very quickly. So, okay, let's start this here. I'm going to cast my Warcry to make my ranged weapons quicker. And, you're going to do like a thing here where you summon cats with his 4, and then you throw the cat litter with his 1. That's kind of like the combo with it now. That's like the new way to play Inaros. Summon cats, throw the cat litter. It's throw sand, but with his cats now, I kind of think of it as throw the cat litter. It's kind of funny. Is a little bit energy hungry, so I'm not going to be able to do that combo all the time. And I'm going to have to keep my Warcry up to be able to increase my ranged weapon attack speed. So I'm going to head over to this first set of life sports. I hate this part of the map. I get lost here all the time. I didn't put on a shield. A shield pad, shield pizza. Inaros does have a new passive though, where when he dies, instead of having to like suck enemies through his sarcophagus, he actually comes out of his sarcophagus. Yeah, this is the new reworked Inaros. This is a shield Inaros mode. I'm just showing it off for today. You see that effect there, the Grin lock? That just triggered the Syndicate effect. It's going to give us 25% shields back, and it's going to increase our shield capacity by plus 50%. So big combo with this build. Try to get headshots when you can. Now that Syndicate effect won't proc all the time. It has to actually wait for that 30-second buff to go away. Taxon's going to be giving us shields back. Yeah, you definitely should try this. Yeah, this is a pretty decent build. I'll go over it again one more time at the end, just to show everyone the mods and everything. So let me throw an energy pad down and we'll go over the combo. So it's going to be summon the cats, throw the cat litter. There we go. So we got his 4 and his 1. You kind of combo both of them together. See those guys, and they're all just, they're taking those corrosive procs. They're CC'd. So summon the cats, throw the cat litter. That's the combo. You get CC, you get corrosive procs. You're getting shields back. Don't forget, like I do, to use Warcry to give your ranged weapons more fire rate. We're running low on life support. I gotta get some. All right, back up to 70% life support. Should be pretty decent for a bit there. We'll wait until the... Yeah, I know. I didn't think it was possible either, but I was messing around with my settings one day, and all of a sudden I noticed, I was like, huh, he can have shields. Like, he doesn't start with shields, but apparently if you give him shields through mods, you know, he can be a shield frame. You know, and then you combo him with Taxon. Taxon just gives him more shields. Gonna throw another energy pad down there. I'm gonna do my little combo here. So we're gonna summon cats, and then throw the cat litter. Summon cats, throw the cat litter. That's the combo. All right, almost at 5 minutes. I kind of want to fight an Acolyte. I don't know how well he's going to do. I haven't tested the Shield Inaros against the Acolyte. I'm going to head towards Extraction, though. Oh, I'm going to fall almost. We might not. He might be a late Acolyte. Acolytes can spawn 3 to 8 minutes in. Hey, Storm. Yeah, this is a very unique way to play Inaros. All right, gonna head over here. We're just gonna show the build off one more time. So as you saw there, it's about like 5,000 shields. Easy to keep up. Didn't die a single time. Just slaying enemies. You know. Let's look at the kills I got here too. Let's look at the stats. So 116 kills. That's more than I usually get. Go over the build one more time here. So it's going to be Inaros. This is his rework. It changed how he works a little bit. I was messing around with my settings one day, and I noticed after I messed with my settings, I was like, wow, he can have shields. I was putting shield mods on him, and I was just noticing he had the blue shields up on the top. And so I was like, let me build him out. And so it must have been like a rework thing. So for Inaros, we're going to go over his abilities. First one is going to be Desiccation. He's going to throw sand. It's going to do some CC. Second one's going to be Warcry. Warcry is going to increase the fire rate of your weapons. We're going to put that over his Sand Tornado because the Sand Tornado gives you back health. If you were building a health Inaros, I don't know why you would, but if you were building a health Inaros nowadays, you could keep his 2 on. But the way we're building him is as a shield frame. And so we're taking that Sand Tornado off. Seems pretty garbage to me. So we're putting Warcry on instead. Scarab Shell is going to give us armor. Armor is going to give the shields more damage reduction. Scarab Swarm is going to summon cats. Those cats are going to run around and they're going to, CC things. You kind of saw that in the gameplay. They CC things. They attack things. And then for the mods, we're going to have Augur Accord for shield capacity and more energy back when we use abilities. Retribution to CC enemies that hit our shields. Vigilante Vigor for shield recharge and shield recharge delay. Boreal's Hatred for shield capacity and ability efficiency. You don't really care too much about the reduced damage while airborne. I mean, that seems kind of stupid, so that doesn't matter. Fortitude is going to be our plus 100% shield recharge. Prime Redirection is going to be for shield capacity. Prime Vigor is for more shield capacity. It gives you a little bit of health too, but we don't care too much about that. Fast Deflection is going to be for plus 90% shield recharge, and then negative 45% shield recharge delay. And then we're going to be using Brief Respite for kind of like the same thing as Augur Accord. We get shields back when we cast abilities. And then in our Exilus slot, Peculiar Growth is kind of slept on, but it's an amazing DPS mod. It inflates body parts hit. Sounds kind of stupid, but the more you hit their head, the bigger their head gets, and the easier it is to get those headshots. So Peculiar Growth is a DPS mod that people kind of sleep on. It is hard to get, though. Okay, and we're going to combo wombo that with our Prisma Grin Lock, and specifically the Deadly Sequence mod. It's going to trigger once you get like 1,000 affinity. It's going to give you 25% shields back. It's going to increase your max shields by 50%. We're going to be using the Compressor as our secondary for when we really need that heavy damage. Now, that Acolyte, he was late. He didn't come out, and he's probably glad he didn't because the Compressor would have... It would have laid the smackdown on him. The Compressor is a heavy, heavy crit weapon. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going for Galvanized Diffusion for multi-shot, Creeping Bullseye for crit chance, Prime Target Cracker for crit damage, and then everyone knows faction mods are the best. They go on every weapon, and they double, triple, and even sometimes quadruple dip. And so we're going to be going for Expel the Murmur, Primed Expel Corpus, Primed Expel Corrupted, Primed Expel Grenier, and Primed Expel Infested. One day when they come out with the Primed Expel Murmur, this build will finally be complete, and it'll be, a sight to behold, basically. And then for Arcane's secondary Encumber, it goes on every weapon in the game. A lot of primaries really good on. And then Ripka's, don't worry too much about the build. This build is from a long time ago. The only thing that you should note is the Amalgam Ripka True Steel. So plus 20% reload speed, and that's going to be helping our Grinlock. So Grinlock's just going to be able to reload a little bit quicker. It's not a huge buff, but it helps. Hey, I'll take 20% reload speed. We're going to go with Nairu for the 200 passive armor. It's going to help damage reduction for our shields. And then for a pet, we're going to be going for Taxon. You get him pretty early on. One of the best Sentinels. People kind of sleep on him, of course. He has really low armor, so for our survivability mods, we're not going to be going for the Metal Fiber because it's not going to increase it too much. But we are going to be going for Enhanced Vitality and Calculated Redirection. We're going to be going... So Taxon has a special mod here, Molecular Conversion. Blast enemies within 10 meters, converting 200 damage into shields. So it gives you a little bit of shields. Gives you like 200 shields. The shields are actually based on the damage, so I don't think it actually gives you 200 shields. I think if their damage reduction reduces the 200 damage, I think you get less shields back. I don't exactly know. It's something along those lines. But we're going to be combo womboing that with Manifold Bond. So as long as we're killing enemies that have 3 or more status effects, it's going to reduce that cooldown. And so he's going to be able to machine gun spam Molecular Conversion and just dump. He's going to be dumping all those shields on us. Next 3 mods we always put on Sentinels. It's going to be Primed Animal Instinct, Vacuum, and Primed Regen. Guardian is going to fully restore our shields if we run to 0. Didn't even happen once in that gameplay. That's how strong it is. Shield Charger is going to give our Warframe max shields and shield regeneration by 60%. for 10 seconds. This has like a pretty long internal cooldown, but again, Manifold Bond's going to be able to reduce that. And Assault Mode just so we can attack. And the Burst Laser Prime is going to be the one you're going to stack statuses on it so that Manifold Bond can actually like do its thing. That's pretty much it. Oh, and of course, Armor Shards. 5 Armor Shards to get damage reduction for your shields. So that's pretty much it for the new reworked Inaros. Interesting to see like what he can do nowadays. So if you liked the video and if I taught you something today, please give it a like. And that should be it. You guys have a good day. Take it easy, guys. Bye.